Arthur Morgan should not have worked as well as he did as a character. When Rockstar originally announced Red Dead Redemption 2, people weren't asking for Arthur Morgan, they wanted John Marston back. But instead, Rockstar announced that they were going to go with a prequel story for Red Dead Redemption 2, and they were going to show it through the eyes of another outlaw, another cowboy, and another criminal, somebody that we didn't really know. And when deciding to do that, you initially and already start the fact that you are taking a massive gamble here. Because whenever you decide to do a prequel, you are saying that we are going to tell the story that you already know how it ends, but we're going to fill in the dots in a way that's interesting enough, that's going to create a story that's powerful enough to resonate with you to create this game. And somehow, by the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, millions of people weren't really talking about John Marston anymore. They were talking about Arthur Morgan. People cried over Arthur Morgan like they lost a family member, because somehow Rockstar found a way to make Arthur Morgan just as, if not even more, special than John Marston's story. But how did they do that? How was it so special? Because it wasn't the guns, it wasn't the combat mechanics, and it wasn't Rockstar simply writing a cool character. It was something much deeper than that. Most video game protagonists are designed around fantasy. Kratos is rage, Master Chief is all about power, Nathan Drake is just natural born charisma, Batman is control and fear. They're built to make you feel something immediately. You look at them and instantly understand who they are, and Arthur Morgan doesn't really work that way. Because when you first meet Arthur, you're not really understanding what he's about. Really, you just know that he's a bad person who's riding with a bunch of other bad people. And we know that these are bad people because that's what we were told in Red Dead Redemption 1, the Dutch Van der Leen gang. These are not a good group of individuals. Arthur is robbing people, he's threatening people, he's beating debtors, he's following Dutch into incredibly dangerous situations where innocent people are assumed to be killed. He's a gruff outlaw with a deep voice and a gun. We've seen that character 1,000 times, and if you described Arthur Morgan to somebody who never played Red Dead, they probably shrug and say, so he's a cowboy, who really gives a fuck? But Rockstar wasn't trying to make Arthur immediately lovable, they were doing something different with him, because Arthur wasn't written as a finished character, he was written as a person. And that is what makes him special at his core. Arthur is incredibly human. Arthur's character development isn't exactly new. We've seen the story of can the villain become a good person over time a million times, so how does it become special in this situation? Rockstar never stops the game to tell you that Arthur Morgan is secretly a good man, because early on he really isn't. In the mission where Arthur beats the sick man to death for money, it's not because he wants to or because he's evil or because he enjoys it, it's just because that's what Arthur's always done throughout his life. That is the world that he was fostered in, it's the world he grew up in, so therefore that's what he believes that he is. He doesn't really believe he has any other option. Arthur knows that he's a bad man, and he's okay with that, really, because he doesn't really believe that he can do any good. The world around him is corrupt, and I guess he believes that he should be too. But as the game continues and the world around Arthur slowly begins to fall apart, Arthur starts to change. He starts to see the world from a different perspective. Dutch changes, the gang changes, people die, friends disappear, and everything Arthur believed in starts collapsing in front of him. And for the first time in his life, Arthur starts asking the questions of that world around him.
Insist? Yeah. Insist.
And as the game continues, and as Arthur starts to doubt the world and lose the faith in the world around him and lose the faith in the people that he has spent his entire life being loyal to, Arthur starts to change, but that's only half of Arthur's character and half of his redemption arc. Because the other half of what makes Arthur's redemption arc special is you as the player. You don't just watch Arthur change as a character, you help create it. And it's through tiny moments. It's not really big moments, it's not explosions, it's not giant boss fights, it's small moments. It's greeting strangers, it's helping someone on the side of the road, it's sitting around camps listening to stories, it's going fishing with Jack, it's talking with people, it's watching Arthur draw in his journal, it's him petting his horse. These moments don't feel important when you're playing them, but they slowly start to change your perception of Arthur as he's just a human being. Underneath all the violence and the outlaw shit, you start seeing somebody. You start seeing a man who maybe wants to try to be better. And the incredible part is Arthur himself doesn't really understand that change fully. There's a sadness through all of it. It isn't until Arthur gets diagnosed with tuberculosis or when he starts to notice that he's finally dying that he starts to realize that he wasted so much of his life following people who never deserved him. It's when he realizes he doesn't have unlimited time, that he can't undo the things that he's done. And maybe he can still choose who he wants to be now. If you want to know what makes Arthur Morgan so special as a character, all you really need to do is sit back and watch the scene that he has with the sister at the train station. It's near the end of the game where Arthur knows that he's dying and he knows that the world around him is crumbling and he still doesn't understand it, and he knows that he's not a good person and he can't fix the mistakes of the past and he doesn't have any more time left. And throughout the badass things that Arthur Morgan does in this story, you look in the eyes of this character as he speaks to the sister and you realize that he is just a human being who is afraid and is so deeply regretful of all the things that he has done now that he realizes that he doesn't have the time to fix them. But the sister has seen the good actions of Arthur Morgan throughout the years and has seen him do good things, human things. Things that a man does when he's just trying to be better. And it's the sister trying to tell Arthur that even in his limited time that he has left, he absolutely cannot change the mistakes of the past, but what he can do is continue to be a better person now. He still has time to be the difference. And with that time, Arthur Morgan becomes the catalyst for the next generation. He becomes the catalyst for the next story, for the original Red Dead Redemption, for extending John's story of trying to be a better man.
It would mean a lot to me. Please.
It's incredibly human to take a step back and realize that there's never enough time to fix what you did in the past, but there's always enough time to try. I think years from now, people will still debate who gaming's greatest characters are, whether that's Joel or Ellie, or it's Lee Everett, or it's Kratos, or it's Master Chief, or it's John Marston, but Arthur Morgan feels different. Because Arthur doesn't really feel like a character that someone handed to you. He feels like somebody you got to know over a very long period of time. And maybe that's why so many people felt so empty and so emotional after finishing the main story of Red Dead Redemption 2, because at the end of it all, Arthur Morgan didn't feel like someone you controlled. He felt like somebody you lost.
I guess I'm afraid.
There is nothing to be afraid of, Mr. Morgan. Take a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
All aboard? I shall try.
I know you will. Goodbye, goodbye, Mr. Morgan. Goodbye.
Sister,